Here from Farmfest 2017 at the Gilfillan Estates on KLGR 1490 FM 95.9 and here on Facebook, facebook.com/KLGR Ag. You know his voice, but you finally get to see his face if you haven't already. Sorry, that's all we have to work with. Mark Malecek from the Beef News and Notes program joining us. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good, but I don't know if I should thank you for that introduction or not.
Well, we can see how this goes and go from there, right?
All right, that would work good.
So, first of all, let's talk about a little bit about the location. Same place you've been, but a little bit different setup than what you've had in the past.
It is, and we're still in that 500th block. It's easy to find. I think a lot of people have walked by here occasionally over the years, and the neat part about it is we got a bigger tent. We redesigned the serving line. The one thing that's a constant that's been staying the same is the size of these sandwiches. And if you haven't been here before, it's kind of fun to see people when they get that sandwich with all that roast beef just drooping from the sides of that bun. And that part, the other thing I'd like to just add is we have got plenty of help, and I think people can see that it's kept clean. The line goes through smooth, so if they come, they know they're going to get fed and get going back out on the grounds in a short order. The
comment I heard out on the grounds from a couple exhibitors, they said that thing's about the size of a market steer.
Yeah.
Pretty close, right?
That's pretty close.
So now, I know you just came back from Denver, and you're on the Export Council and stuff with the cattle industry. A lot of good news we've heard lately, especially with China opening up again to U.S. beef. What kind of things did you hear at Denver? What kind of things are you still talking about other than maybe China, or even hitting more on China?
Sure. I think the one thing that is an export growth committee that I'm on, and the one thing that the takeaway that I got from it, kind of the common denominator in all these countries when they want to deal with us, it's probably first onset like dealing with China. They're pretty coming on strict as far as like their animal ID and certain things that we can feed them that we know are safe that we're feeding, but you have to kind of play the game. And at the same time, I think it's real apparent that we set the standard around the world for food safety, and I am so proud as a producer here in Minnesota and from the United States that we have that product that around the world they know that we have the USDA inspection and it's a good, clean, safe product. And there's a lot of other countries importing that are told they have to meet our standards. And I think that really bodes well for our producers.
You talk about other countries, and we won't necessarily mention them by name, but other countries that are exporting beef, and you're worried about what might be coming in on that product. And, we don't see that with the U.S. beef being exported around the world.
We don't. Our record has been really good, and there have been a few hiccups here and there, but they're taken care of in a swift manner, and everything is science-based, and I'm proud to be a beef producer here in Minnesota.
So when you come back from a place like where you're in the national meetings like at Denver and stuff, I mean, you see that everybody's got that common goal when you're out there, how to produce cattle and produce it better, but you see it done maybe different ways than what you see up in Minnesota. What kind of a feeling do you get taken away, whether it's being education or just how you feel in general about the industry as a whole when you come away from a meeting like that?
I think there's a real positive feel, and I think that's the one thing nice about, right now we have suppressed corn prices, but that bodes well for the cost of production for beef that are being raised. I think overall, we look at the growing population in the world, and if you can get into some of these countries like Korea, Taiwan, Japan, and our growth this last year has been in the 40 to 50% range. It's been amazing. But when you can get those people eating a protein-based meal like beef that's nutritious, and take them away a little bit from their rice diet, once they get a taste of our American beef, it's hard for them to go back to what they had 10, 20, 30 years ago.
Now, when you talk about the countries that you want to get into, these are all countries we were looking at a year ago, hopefully joining into that Trans-Pacific Partnership with. Of course, now that did fall through. Now, how important is it to get that message to the administration to get those export markets opened up some way, whether it's bilateral trade agreements or maybe it's trying to find a new program that works with all the countries? How important is it to get that done?
It is, and at the same time, where I'm on the checkoff side of things, we don't deal with policy, so it's hard for me to answer that. But from what I do understand, that the administration are very cognizant of some of the things that they're saying in these trade agreements could hurt some ag exports. At the same time, I think they realize the value in it, and I think it's going to be pretty well thought out before there's some long-term decisions made with it.
Well, Mark, I thank you for taking the time to visit with us, and of course, we'll hear from you in coming weeks, as always, in the Beef News and Notes program. Thanks for sharing us, and of course, thanks for telling people what's going on out here at the beef tent.
Very good. Thank you, Dustin, for all you've done for us the last few years. We appreciate it a lot.
No problem. That's Mark Malecek, Chairman of the Minnesota Beef Council here on the Farm Show, KLGR 1490 AM, FM 95.9, and on Facebook. From Gilfillan Estates for Farmfest 2017, this is Dustin. We'll see you later.